Well, this is your show. What else you want to talk about?
No, it's not.
Well,
it's your program.
On that topic,
I mean, I'm fixing to be. I'm already the king of all media here on the podcasting and the YouTubing. I'm fixing to branch out. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, and we can't call you that. That's someone else's trademark. But
well, no, he's foregone that because he's not the king of any media anymore.
Well, again, I think he still has the trademark on the name. But let's talk about it because for a while now, questions have trickled in. And now they're coming like a full stream.
Why are you making these ejaculation f***ing similes? Can't you say we've had a veritable plethora of questions? But go ahead.
There has been a deluge of questions that have emerged about an upcoming movie, Queen of the Ring, based on the book, The Life of Mildred Burke. And some people noticed it a while back, but now the cat's out of the bag. The trailer's out of the studio. Jim, you have a role in this movie. You're going to be in a motion picture.
Yes, yeah, and it's actually going to move. I went from one side of the stage to the other and back again during the course of this. Yes, the Queen of the Ring shot here in Louisville, Kentucky in the summer, July and August period of 2023. And at that time, they, I said, well, what do you want me to do about promoting this? Because I'm always, boom, boom, boom. It's been a year and a half. It takes a while to put a movie together. See, this is not the wrestling world where you do a show and it's out either live or shortly after on tape. But anyway, then over the holidays, all of their promotion started ramping up. And we finally caught up with them because you and I have had things to do. So we are going to be talking to some of the people involved in the movie and showing some things, some of the clips and bits and whatever of what's the Josh is the fellow over at Sumerian, which is the company. I guess they do records, they do films. He told me he's got a comic book company. Ash Avildsen is the director of this movie, and he is the son of John Avildsen, who directed Rocky. And
the Karate Kid.
And the Karate Kid. You always bring it back to the Karate Kid. But, me and my friend Martin Cove are going to have an issue with you.
Because you don't understand, for kids my age, the Karate Kid is as big as Rocky.
Well,
for the next generation was 10 years later almost.
I think Stallone's at least 6 inches taller, but nevertheless.
Then who? He's a short guy.
Yeah, but the kid was only like 12 years old.
Who?
The Karate Kid.
No, he wasn't. He was like Ralph Macchio. He's probably like 25 playing 18 or something.
Oh, well, he looked like 12. He should be in AEW. But anyway, nevertheless, we're digressing here.
Why don't you put down Pat Morita while we're at it? Let's just get it all out of the way.
No, he had an excellent drive-in. I loved the burgers. Point being, this movie, Queen of the Ring, they shot it here in Louisville. Ash Avildsen, not only the director, but also wrote the screenplay. It's based on the movie or the book that many of our audience has probably read, Queen of the Ring by Jeff Lean, about Mildred Burke's life and times. And so anyways, I said we're going to have some of the people connected with the movie as guests on the program over the next several weeks, and news on the premieres, where it starts and where it ends up, and things like that. But yet, this was kind of interesting, and I know a lot of people are going to say, "Okay, Cornette hates all the wrestling movies, so what's he going to pick apart about this one?" My standing complaint registers about this movie like it does everything else. Nobody in the world looks like the people that they're talking about, and that's, pretty much standard with everything. But also to outweigh any historical inaccuracies in my book, I got to be in a movie and only had to go 12 miles from the house. So there's something to be said for that. No, I was sitting here minding my own business as I usually do. People try to get in movies, actually go out and ask people if they can be in movies. Have you heard about this, Brian?
What do you mean they ask to be in a movie? They audition? You talking about an audition?
Yeah. they go around and try to be in movies. And sometimes people won't let them be in movies. I understand. But I was just sitting here minding my own business, and the fucking director called me and said, "Hey, you want to be in my movie?" And I thought, well, that sounds like that's probably the only movie I'm ever going to be in, unless some other wrestling movie shoots in Louisville. No, it was fun, and now I understand why I probably didn't miss my calling, because being an actor and doing movies and I guess television programs of an entertainment nature would have driven me batshit even quicker than wrestling, because it took them, this is a 2-hour movie. They were shooting shit for 6 weeks here, right? And that's, I mean, how long did it take to shoot Gone with the Wind? The fucking children were born. But you got to shoot the same thing a variety of times. And then you're sitting around waiting to shoot something or watching somebody else shoot something a variety of times. And boy, howdy. At least in wrestling, think about this. When you showed up at the building, good, bad, or indifferent, however fucking the show was and whatever venue it was, whether house show, television taping, pay-per-view, whatever, even if you were part of the production crew, you were in that building about 12 hours and it was over one way or the other. And you were on to the next thing. Holy shit. On one day, they were shooting I don't want to give anything away, but the climactic, it's not giving anything away that probably the climactic part of this piece is Mildred Burke versus June Byers. That's not giving anything away if anybody knows the subject matter. So they were in they were able to make this thing a period piece because so many of the locations in Louisville kind of look like the 30s, 40s, the Sealback Hotel, the Pendennis Club downtown. Some of the streets, they were able to do a great job with that. And they had a place at Actors Theater. It was like a theater in the round. They were able to make an arena. But we sat there because I was in the background of this. It's going to be hard to cut me out unless they shoot around me specifically in the climactic scene of the thing. But we were there for like 12 hours. They shot it with one camera from one angle, then the other angle from the other camera, and then the other angle, and then we broke for a meal, and then came back and shot it from another angle. And they were actually rotating the crowd around like a 1/8 turn each time. So it was mind-boggling.
There's an image, your image has been in a couple of the trailers or a couple of the things that have been released beyond the video of you talking about the movie they released. And there's one that has you next to Dean Hill.
Yes.
Now, you and Dean Hill sat next to each other on OVW TV 20 years ago.
Yes.
And now here you are here. It's like if you went to AI and said, show me future OVW in the past.
Well, not only when we sat next to each other at OVW, we had more room because as I said, the match between Mildred Burke and June Byers, it's being shot where it looks like an old-time wrestling arena, and sitting at the announcer/commissioner's table, and this is a shot you see in the trailer in the movie, one of these clips, is Martin Kove, who plays Al Haft, by the way. And then I'm next to him. And then Dean Hill, who is the ring announcer, imagine that, which he's been doing for 30 years or whatever. He's the ring announcer, but we're at this commissioner's table that they've manufactured in what is really a theater in the round, and they forgot that Dean Hill is a Sasquatch. He's 6'6", and his legs are ginormous, and I'm a grown adult man, and Martin Kove is a grown adult man, and our legs were numb. By the end of, we were there for 2 or 3 days, shooting that, and we were wedged in there for hours at a time, and we were supposed to be in the same place to be in the background of the scene. And we were we were like paralyzed because it was so we got to engage in a little banter in between shots, and otherwise we're sitting there like the three chimpanzees wedged together, and there were people on either side of us where we couldn't just even spread out our legs. So that was a tender moment.
Another clip that's another scene that's briefly shown in one of the trailers. It appears to be you in a chair surrounded by what I'm assuming are the other promoters, and you're leaning in and talking.
Well, I am okay. The story of Mildred
Was that
Burke,
when you guys had to straighten out Nick Goulas? What was that?
Well, no. Unfortunately, we had to take Nick out in the back alley behind Coons's and straighten his ass out, and then But anyway, the story from the time Mildred Burke got interested in wrestling until the climax of her big league run is almost 20 years, and it's a 2-hour movie again, so ancillary characters tend to be made composites of, right? I'm kind of an all-purpose NWA representative, state athletic commissioner, the person of some authority from the establishment who spoke in a couple or three, key places, and was in the meeting with those various promoters around the room, and Mrs. Burke. It's Miss Burke.
You're a mix between Sam Mushnick and J.J. Binns.
Well, exactly. And that's why, when Martin and I were sitting there for so long, and occasionally they did a pan shot or whatever, we would just be speaking, and he started calling me Sam. Well, Sam, and none of this maybe even in the film, we were amusing ourselves. But I am and I told him when that's the story I was about to tell and didn't. When Ash Avildsen, the director, called me and said, we're shooting this in Louisville. We need a representative of the wrestling establishment that, can pop in at various points and help move this thing along in terms of how the women's wrestling was being viewed at that time. And I said, well, so this is typecasting. I've been turning people down to be booked for 30 years, so that's no problem. And so we worked it, and I know there's a lot of people in the movie that I didn't even see, because I think out of the 6 weeks they were shooting, I did I think 6 days or whatever. But when we would pop in, and I would try to give it my all. I don't know that I'm going to be doing Shakespeare or theater in the round anytime soon, but since it was something that was kind of close to my wheelhouse, or my flywheel, or what was it they had up there, the flywheel? It was close to my flywheel.
We do have those things that we are still talking about for theater in the park for the summer. So why don't we not commit to not doing it?
I'm not doing the nude scenes though.
Well, just let's not commit to not doing it.
Even if it is summertime.
I'm just saying, don't commit to not doing it publicly. That's all I'm saying.
All right. But anyway, yes, and Martin was very helpful with explaining to me some of the things they were doing while we were sitting there watching them move a camera fucking 6 inches from one side to the other.
Was anyone honest with you? Like, who the fuck let you in here, amateur?
Yeah, well, actually, no, they were very welcoming, because here's the thing. Think how many appearances, or however you want to measure it, minutes I've been, or hours I've been on television or pay-per-view or home video of some description over the last 40 years. I have never played a person other than myself, or actually been engaged in a scripted play of some description. That's got to be some kind of record.
Have you ever been in a play?
No, I've never played.
Not even when you were a kid?
No, I've never played anybody but myself in anything. Because I knew at least I could probably do a better job at that than anybody else. But being a novice, hopefully, it won't stink the joint out. Do I get a Rotten Tomato or whatever for this?
Well, that's not the way it works. They don't give you a Rotten Tomato.
Well, why not?
They throw them at you.
Well, then in that case, that's giving in a forceful way. So as we go along over the next few weeks and have news on the premiere and the various guests and everything, people can start setting their tomatoes out on the windowsill. So, because I don't want them things to be too hard. If you peg that thing sidearmed, it can fucking hurt put somebody's eye out.
I just like where this can go. This can go in so many great directions. Like, someone sees this movie and says, we needed a villain for the new RoboCop. Here he is, this guy. Everyone's going to want to kill this guy. They're going to want to see RoboCop kill him. Let's hire him. Kill him, kill him. Let's hire him.
We'll come back to that. Maybe we'll work on that. Somebody needs to do a treatment on it first before I'll agree to it. And then we can get into script conference.
Would you look at more movie work if the movie industry was centered around Louisville?
So what the no, I don't even really want to continue with the career I've already got, much less fucking trying. I'm 60 fucking 3, much less trying to start a fucking brand new one from scratch. I'm not Colonel Sanders going on the road to franchise my chicken at 65 with a fucking pressure cooker in the fucking back seat.
That man had work ethic.
I mean, I don't want to take the place of people who are actively trying to do this. I've shot one scene, or not. I did one shooting where the
Sounds
other
like
guy.
Porn.
No, come on now.
I shot one scene with this. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
You're going back to the Peter North fucking similes again. I was shooting one day. For the film
in the valley, yeah.
It was it was out in South Louisville, as a matter of fact, at a barbecue joint. No, it really was, but in the parking lot. And it's a long story, but nevertheless, there was another guy that had auditioned for the particular part that he was also going to be shooting in that same location, not with me. It was solo stuff. And he had not only auditioned, but had driven overnight from somewhere in Illinois or something like that, just to come down there and do that. So I want to leave it for the people that are driven to do this rather than take all their opportunities away because I'm so much better than they are.
Are you a member of the union now? The Screen Actors Guild?
Not that I'm aware of.
You should talk to Jesse Ventura.
Well, I'm on the screen. The acting may be subject to debate, and I'm not sure whether I'm gilded or not. But I said, don't you have to? Once again, if you're in one movie, then you're in the Screen Actors Guild, and that works for life. Don't you have to intend to be?
If you have a line.
Well, yeah, but don't you have to intend to do that ever again in your life?
Yeah, next year you have to do another thing.
Well, who the fuck's going to call me and just ask me to do another fucking thing?
I think this is the opportunity for us to start making our own films, kind of like Dolomite.
Now I know why you've been talking about pornography.
Will you listen? I'm not talking about the pornography. I'm talking about you driving around in that old Cadillac you have, dressed up to the nines, all around Louisville, causing trouble, yet stopping trouble. It could be a whole new thing. We'll let you come up with your own dialogue. We being me and all the Saudi Arabian investors. And a weird guy who says he's not Russian, but we think he's Russian.
We think he's Russian, but he's got papers that say different. But I don't know whether that's going to fly. The LaSalle hasn't been restored yet, so we'll be waiting on that. We're waiting for the 100th anniversary. It's 4 more years. But then we'll have a big party in 4 more years and restore the LaSalle. But anyway, yes, I'm in a major motion picture, baby. And the other people are making sitcoms. But yeah, from what I have seen from the trailer and what we are hearing from the film festivals where it has been sneaked, as they say in the industry, this is a good fucking movie. So maybe we got that going for it. Of course, I got the magic touch. What can I say?
Well, you've got the touch, you've got the power. We'll have more about Queen of the Ring in the weeks ahead on the Drive-Thru and the Experience. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel as well.